Okay, hey everyone, happy December 12th. We are here for our first virtual Modern Mom Date, sip, slay, sparkle, whatever we want to call it. We're here. We are so excited. My name is Alix, and I am a health and nutrition coach, meal planning expert, and I'm also the co-host of the Don't Call Me Midlife podcast with Nicole. And Nicole, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm a co-host with Alix, and I'm also teaching women, millennials and beyond, relevant and elevated fashion styles. And you can find me at Touch of Stas. And we're just excited to be here. So I think Alix is going to get us started.
Well, let's introduce Two Blooms. So these are my
Oh,
friends.
oh my gosh. Sorry.
That's okay. These are my friends, Melissa and Robin. And again, I haven't met them in person, but they are my friends. We have been friends since COVID. I first found them from a company called Alice's Table that organized virtual flower decorating parties, and I hosted one for my sorority sisters during COVID. So I met them in 2020, and I think it was your first virtual party that you did. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. You were our first group, and the rest is kind of history. So thanks for joining us. But yeah, we're Two Blooms Events, and we're based in Sarasota, Florida. And we host virtual, or actually in-person, floral arranging workshops down in Florida. So
yes, and I'm Melissa, and this is Robin. And we're really excited to be here. We've got a bouquet to put together tonight.
And they are two midlife moms too, who know the hustle and bustle of being an entrepreneur, being a mom, just trying to navigate life overall. So Nicole and I are very honored that you are here, and I can't wait to meet you in person. If you're in the Tampa area, check them out. They do really cool events. Their Instagram is Two Blooms Events. I was going to say .com. Oh my gosh. Well, that is your website though too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How we're going to do this is we're not going to take a ton of your time, but again, ask questions, be interactive, have fun. You know, I've got my slippers on and I've got my comfy clothes on. So this is meant to be casual. This is really fun. Nicole and I love building community of like-minded women. So I'm going to start with sipping. And, you know, I got myself in this little pickle because I started down a road of looking up a recipe. Then I got a couple other things for you guys too that I want to share. And then Nicole is going to teach us how to sparkle with eyeliner, an eyeliner brush, and eyeshadow, right?
Yep.
And then Robin and Melissa are going to show us how to take just a bouquet from the grocery store, which we all buy, right? And how to make it, how to elevate it, right? We love that word, elevate it. How to make it look like a winter wonderland. And they're going to also give us some tips on flowers and just in general, how to keep, I know you guys, how to cut roses, how to keep roses, like hydrangea, you know, all those little tips and tricks they are going to share with us. So all of these things are really useful in our midlife. So first to my cocktail. What I want to just say is one thing is I'm going to start with a hostess gift real quick. I love a good hostess gift. And I love, this is my opinion, hostess gifts that are edible, right? Picking your favorite food, finding something that people can use. We in midlife, we have everything. And so thinking about some of your favorite snacks that you could give your friend. Recently I had a cookie exchange, and the gift that I gave everybody was a bottle of peppermint espresso martini mix from Williams-Sonoma. And it's from Williams-Sonoma. I don't have one to share. And then a bottle of vodka and some cute cocktail napkins. I'm going to a party this weekend, and I am giving them some cute cocktail napkins that say, don't, please leave at 9, right? Which is what we like to do. Some frozen mix, and also some seasonal nuts. So I love doing that. Having a cute board you can buy right now. Target has lots of different, there are ones that are wreaths or ones that are trees. You could do like a charcuterie board and attach a nice kitchen towel or something like that. So thinking about those hostess gifts are great. A couple of my favorite snacks that I love serving when we do a cocktail. You always want to eat when you're drinking alcohol, or you want to have something in your house. So a couple of my favorite snacks is I love having a container like this with 2 little dishes. My friend Kelly, who's on, gave me a really nice dish, a silver dish that was 1 dish that I used too. So having something like a Hub Nuts is one of my favorite. I give this actually as a holiday gift. They have chocolate, they have spicy. I know a lot of people have a nut allergy, but if you don't have nut allergies, this is a great gift. I love having also something, I'm a salty person, having like a truffle potato chip, which is really, really good, a little crunch. And then I love this company, Rustic Bakery. They have sweet cookies too. They have some star cookies that I put out when my mother-in-law comes because she likes sweet and so does my husband. And then also they have these that are everything spiced, just little crackers. So putting out something sweet, something savory, some dried edamame, chocolate covered almonds, things like that for snacks is a great thing while you are serving cocktails. Yeah.
Are those in your hostess gift guide, or is there a way that we can get the links, especially those peanuts? That sounded interesting.
Yes, we will send with the replay, Kel, we will send all of the things that we talk about today for sure. Thank you. So before I make the actual cocktails, I have 2 more things I want to show you that are super easy because this is what happens. I see something on Instagram that's like viral and I just like can't help myself. My husband just laughs at me. So I have seen the viral snow globe cocktail. Has anyone seen this? You know, it looks so cute and they make it look like boom, boom, so easy, right? Well, this is my like 10th time making this, and I just want to share how I did it. So you'll see in a lot of them that it just has the rosemary. It's just rosemary and cranberries. Now it won't stand up. You have to get a particular rosemary to stand up. So when you're looking for the actual rosemary, make sure it's really strong. It's not like weak rosemary. Then I saw one that just had cranberries on it and you just stick the rosemary on top. Well, guess what? That doesn't work either. So what I found is you have to have the perfect amount of cranberries and water. So you take a clear glass, you put some cranberries, fresh cranberries in the bottom. Then you take the sprig of rosemary and stick it into a cranberry. So it has almost a base. Then you put it in the glass. Then you carefully, very slowly, put the water in. So that is how you make this snow globe glass. You could put some Prosecco in it. You can make a vodka soda. You can make whatever drink you want. But I wouldn't recommend this for a big party. But if you're going to have, just a couple friends over or your family for your holiday dinner, I definitely recommend this. So this is fun. Now that I nailed it, put it in the cranberry, put it in the glass. One other thing that I'm saving these for Christmas morning is I made these ice cubes. And what is in here, oops, melting, is just orange juice, cranberries, and some rosemary. So these are big ice cubes. It's not the traditional small ice cubes. And what you can do, it's a Prosecco, a mimosa cocktail on Christmas morning, which my mom loves. You put a big ice cube into a champagne glass and then just pour Prosecco over it. And it's sort of a twist on a mimosa. So those are 2 little fun and festive things. We like to elevate whatever we're doing, whether it's hosting, fashion, floral, just with something, doing something a little bit can go a long way. So think about that when you're hosting this holiday season, how those little things that you have to like to do them, can make a difference for your guests. So now we're going to make the cocktail. The first one is a white Cosmo. I also love glassware when I'm hosting. These are 2 of my favorite glasses. This one has a gold rim, and this one is just, you can see it's a little bit etched. This one's from Pottery Barn, and this one is, there's one that the Crate and Barrel has it. But, having a fun festive glass and using it, we don't want to wait till, an actual holiday to use our nice stuff. So take it out, use it on a Friday night, use it with your husband, use it with your girlfriends. Don't wait until it's Thanksgiving or Christmas to use it, because guess what? That's going to be 2 times a year. So use your good stuff. Do not worry about it. So the first one is what we're going to do. Both of these involve a shaker. If you don't have a shaker, I have a shaker. You can use a mason jar. If you have a big mason jar too, you don't need to buy a fancy shaker. I'll use a shaker for the first one. White Cosmo. The one thing in this that is hard to find is white cranberry juice. If you don't have white cranberry juice, guess what? Use regular cranberry juice and you just call it a Cosmo. You're fine. So we are going to put in here just some vodka, 1.5 ounces, which is traditionally a shot when you go out to, we're going to actually measure this. Let's see. When you go out to a restaurant, thinking about that, whoops. So we're going to measure that. The next thing we're going to put in there is some elderberry flower. So that is like a Saint Germain. This is actually an elderberry flower that one of my clients gave me for this gift. So that was nice. So we are going to put 1/2 ounce there. And we'll also include this recipe. I think we did, but we will again. Then we are going to put 1 ounce of white cranberry juice. So again, this just levels it up. If you go, maybe you have to go to 2 stores to find the white cranberry juice. People are going to be like, wow, you're so fancy. And really, when I love this juice just drinking on its own too. So we're going to put 1 ounce of the cranberry juice in there. And then we are also going to do 1/4 ounce of lemon juice. You can squeeze it yourself. I also like this brand Santa Cruz. I think it's the same thing. Now that's all that's in there. We're going to shake it. Now the one way I'm going to show you how I'm going to elevate this is by sugared cranberries. Now this is where I got myself in a pickle because I went down a rabbit hole. So I wanted to see how to make the best sugared cranberries. And I have these, instead of using a wooden toothpick, I have like a gold, if you can see, gold toothpick that just sort of makes it feel like a little fancy, but really I got these at Target. So the way that I did these cranberries is very easy, and you can make these in advance. They stay for 3 days in a container, and I'll send you the recipe. So I made a simple syrup using 1/2 cup of, it's 1-to-1, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of water, and you boil that. I also put a vanilla bean in there because I have it. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. I put that all together. I put 1 cup of the cranberries in there, and then I let it simmer for 10 minutes. Then I took the cranberries, put them on a piece of parchment paper, and let them dry for an hour. Not that hard, right? I strained the mixture of the simple syrup, and guess what? That's what we're using for our next cocktail. This is where I go down the rabbit hole. So I'll show you I will show you another cocktail using that. But then you dip them in sugar. These will last for 3 days. I mean, it's just adorable. So let's mix this up and let's look at it. I mean, it looks like water. That's going to be the problem, right?
Alix, can you back up a little? Because we can't see it.
See what? What
you're pouring into. Ah.
Sorry. I'll hold it. I actually haven't tasted this, so maybe I'll taste this with you guys. But if you put this, if you see how this is, oh, you can't see, but if it's right across your drink and you're serving it like that, it just looks really, really pretty. And you know what? You can put it in also. Don't worry about it. Let's see. That's good. Do you guys like, I love Cosmos, so that's why I was looking for this recipe.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Cosmos.
You know what? And you would think it would be too sweet, but it's actually not. I think that's perfect. I don't like really, really sweet stuff. So that is perfect. So real quick, I'm going to do the second one. I'm not going to take everyone's time. Using a mason jar, we are going to make a cranberry lemon drop martini. I mean, doesn't that sound so delicious? I'm using the simple syrup. And again, simple syrup is generally, if you buy it in a store, it's sugar water. But this has the cranberries in it too. So we are going to put 1 ounce of simple syrup in there. I did strain that because it did have some of the seeds from the vanilla bean and, some of the leftover stuff from the cranberry. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put 1 ounce of lemon juice in here. And I think it's the lemon that cuts the sweetness. That is good. Wow, that drink is great. And then we are using some vodka, 1 to 2 ounces. Let's use 2. Why not? It's a Tuesday night. And that's all. Those 3 ingredients. So this is great. Everyone has some of those. So shake again. Now I'm going to put it in this glass. Oh, you know what? You can't strain it like this. Oh, well. You know what? You know what I will do is, well, you know what? Just use this. I'll strain it. You can't see it, but I'll strain it like this. I'll show you it. You know what? That works perfect. Use the top of your mason jar. Wow. Thinking on the fly here. Look at that. And then you put some.
That's a pretty color.
This is pretty. Then you put some cranberries in there. Let's try this one. Oh, wow. That is delicious. Wow. Okay.
I think she likes number 2 better.
I think I do. I think that,
Yeah.
But you know what? I could probably only have 1 of these. I could probably have 2 of the others. So just making a fun cocktail is a great idea. If you have people coming into your house, someone, I have my cousin coming over who likes old fashions. I'm going to find a fun, probably cranberry old fashioned for him. That makes people, when they come over your house, really feel welcome. If you put just like a little bit of extra thought, do you have their favorite bottle of wine? That type of thought. Do they not drink and you have the seltzer that they like? Just putting those little things. Do people have allergies? So yeah, I obviously love entertaining, and those are two really fun drinks that you guys can make this holiday season. So that is sip. I'm gonna drink the first one. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I'm gonna drink this first one. Oh, there's Emily's on here too. Oh wow, yeah, these are good.
I have to make those.
Yes,
Maybe
you
on a
do.
Wednesday night. Just kidding.
Alex is traveling. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Alex. I love those drinks. Those look so fun and festive and delicious. And I love lemon and cranberry. So, all right. So everybody, you guys ready to dive in to learn how to do some eyeliner? Okay. So I have two ways that I want to show you how to do an eyeliner. First, what I'm going to show you is how to do it with an eyeshadow, and it's not a specific eyeshadow. It's just a regular eyeshadow. I'm using this palette. This is by Patrick Ta. This is a matte shadow. And then with a shadow, you can use, I like to use this brush. It is, I'm using my, if you need me to come closer to the, what is that called? Camera, just let me know. So this is an angled brush. Can you see that? Can you guys see
Yeah,
that?
we
How it's
linked it. We're
angled?
gonna link that
Okay.
brush. that
Yeah,
particular brush.
Morphe angled
Yeah.
brush.
Yeah, so it's at an angle, it's not flat. And this is going to be really important when you are doing your liquid liner that I'm going to go into after. So we're just going to start with just a very basic eyeliner. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this brush and you're just going to take the flat part of the bristle and you're just going to put it right into the color that you want. I'm just using this basic black. You're going to tap off any excess. And then I'm going to get close to the mirror to kind of show you. I'm sorry, not the mirror, the camera. So what you're going to do, excuse my face. You're going to start in the outer part of your eye, because that's where you would want the thickest part of the liner to be. So you're going to take it. So the flat edge of the brush, the pointed edge is going to hit the outer part. I'm going to look down into my mirror as I do this. And this is actually a good way to do this at home, is you're going to look down into the mirror, because a lot of people, what they do is they hold their eye tight like this and you drag it across. So you don't get a lot of control. And when you actually do that with a powder brush, you're going to end up with a lot of powder underneath. So you just kind of want to do slow and steady movements all the way across your lash line. So, okay. You're going to start here. Can you guys see? I've never done this way. Okay. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. All right. So you just press and tap. And then about halfway.
Nicole, are you
around-
going all
Yeah.
the way down to right where your eyelashes are, or are you?
Yes. So right where the lashes meet the skin, there's almost like, if you just touch your eye right now, you can just feel this like little ridge. There's like a little, I don't know, it's not called a lip. I'm not sure what it's called. It's just where your eyelashes grow out of. So that's really where you're going to want to put that line. And you just want to go all the way across. And it's just going to finish the lash line. So when you do the bottom, same thing. You're going to want the pointed edge to come to the outer corner. Sorry, girls. And you're just going to tap and go across.
How do you make sure the
So-
the eyeshadow doesn't like flake everywhere? Or I don't know if that's the right terminology.
Yeah. So when you push into the brush and then you tap, it should come right off.
Okay.
But rule of thumb, I just let you know, I used to be a makeup artist when I was an undergrad and graduate school. So what we would always do is we would do our eyes first before we did our foundation. So a lot of times you think, foundation, bronzer, do your face first and then your eyes, but eyeshadow is very messy. And if you are doing more of an evening look, you're going to probably want to do your eyes first and then do the rest of your face. That way, any shadow that comes down here, you're not wiping and then trying to reapply your makeup. So,
That's a great tip. I didn't know that. I don't use eyeshadow, so this is good.
You don't use eyeshadow at all?
No, because I have lashes.
Okay. So this is going to be just like a basic everyday. So what you can do is you can make, you can make your eyeliner, if you like a thicker line, you can do the same thing, but I would always start in the outer edge and on top. So you're just going to want to make that line a little bit thicker and go on top. And then here's another trick that you ladies would like, is to go underneath your lashes. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that brush and you're going to go underneath the lash line. And I'll show you, I'll get as close to the camera as possible so you can see the difference and how it just finishes off the look. So what you'll do is go underneath and same thing. You're just going to press and wiggle all the way across. It does not hurt. It may tickle at first. Okay. All right. Do you see the difference in my eyes?
Yeah.
Can you see how going underneath? This is called, when I worked for Laura Mercier, she called it the tight line. I'm not sure if she invented it, but this is something that we did on every eye, whether you're just wearing beige all over and a little mascara. If you just do the tight line and nothing else, it just makes your lash line look fuller and just completes the look. Is it making your eyes water, Alix? So
yes, I don't really understand what that part is. It looks like does it hurt when you do that?
No, not at all. So I don't have any liner over here. So I'm just going to show you the tight line on the one eye so you can see how it just finishes the eye off, even if you don't have eyeliner on top. So, okay. You're just going to press and wiggle. And if you push it into your lashes, like if you're a little scared, you're going to poke your eye. It's really hard to poke your eye. Okay. You see how it also just kind of opens the eye up?
Yeah.
This one looks a little bit more like done up, going out. I would do this if I was just running errands during the day, and it wouldn't feel or look too much for like some people. For somebody that doesn't wear a lot of eye makeup, this may even feel like a lot. Do you guys have any questions on that? So I also want to talk about like framing the eye with your eyebrows, if you guys want me to go into that. If not, we'll just do liner.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the order of you do your eye? The eyeliner, then the eyeshadow, then the mascara, or what do you do?
Typically I do eyeshadow first and then eyeliner. I always do mascara last because once you put mascara on, you don't want any eyeshadow to fall on it because you want your lashes to be bold and stand out.
Okay, that's something a midlife lady like me should know, but I guess not.
No, I mean, if you didn't grow up wearing a lot of makeup or, it just like never interested you. I mean, it's like, it's a skill that you have to learn. I mean, I remember being 19 or 20 and I worked at the MAC counter. Okay. And this woman came up and she was 40. Mind you, I'm 46 now. And I cringe when I think about what I said to her. She comes up to me and she says, okay, she's like, I just turned 40 and I just want to know, can I still wear shimmer eyeshadow? And I was like, sure. My mom, I said, my mom's your age and she wears it. Like, I was just trying to give her like a frame of, preference, but I was like, yes, of course you can still wear it, but you don't know what you don't know. So you're like the cocktail queen, entertaining, and not everybody knows. So it's the same goes for makeup. So, if you don't know, don't beat yourself up. But that is just the basics with powder. It's really easy. And if you mess up, it's not like a pencil where you smudge it and it's waxy and it makes even more of a mess. Almost like if you make a mess with a powder liner, what you can do is just take your finger and smudge it along your lash line, and there you go, you have a smoky eye. Like it's pretty easy. Or you just take a little Q-tip and you wipe it off, because it is a powder. It'll just come off so much easier than a liquid or a gel or a pencil, like one of those twist pencils. I can't think the material that it's made out of. So
yeah, I have a question.
yeah.
So, but does the powder stay as long as the liquid stays on?
I wouldn't say it lasts as long as a liquid. What you can do to make it last as long as a liquid is you can just dampen the brush tip, like just run underwater and just kind of dry it off a little bit, and then use your eyeshadow.
Okay.
Just kind of like I would use the outer edge of the palette. Don't like put the wet brush right inside. And then you can draw right over it. That will give you the look of a liquid liner, and it will help last longer.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. So that said, let's talk a little bit more about liquid liner. Okay, this is like the vein of everyone's existence, because liquid liner it's pretty unforgivable. And so if you're going to do it and you don't know exactly placement, or you're not familiar with it, and you go to put it on when you're in a rush, you could completely mess up your eyeshadow and like start to panic. So what I would say is maybe just practice a little. And what you can do to transition from, a powder or a pencil or whatever that you're doing is first taking whatever you're comfortable with, whether it's a powder, and almost creating like a trace. So what you're going to want to do is find a way that you like, because a lot of times with liquid, people want to do a wingtip liner, right? I just assume, at least that's what most people did when I was doing makeup. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to take this brush, and this is how you're going to practice. And you can wear this obviously with a powder, but this is just to get into the practice of a liquid. So what you're going to do is now you're going to take the short edge of the brush, and you're just going to put it on the outer edge of your eye. And you're going to have it go upward. You're almost going to take, like, imagine there's an imaginary line from your lower lash line going up. You always want your makeup to be going in an upward motion, especially as we age during midlife. So you're going to just follow this lash line. You're going to put the shortest part of the angled brush right here in the corner of your eye and just press. And if your eye is closed, it's going to look weird. But once you open your eye, it's going to look very natural in the placement. Does that make sense, ladies? Okay, so you're going to just use your powder, and you're going to figure out how far out you want to go. So I'm not going to go very far out. A lot of times when you go to put liquid liner on, people go straight on, and then the wing is straight. But if you want a little bit of an upward, you have to follow it with your lower lashes.
Tell me about that wing thing, Nicole, because when I was in Europe this summer, I saw a lot of people like have their liner like out here. Is that a thing?
Honestly, it's like really your comfort level.
okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
I
not my
mean,
comfort level.
yeah. If you want to do like a little wing, like something like this,
Yeah, no, it was big.
it was just about like, it's just about the length of this brush here. I mean, you can go a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, some people like, they just have it like really long. So, you know, I think when you're young and going to the bar, it's, you know, in my opinion, for me, that's a little bit more, you know, not age appropriate, but more my like comfort level. Okay, so once you have the placement of where you want it to go, all right, then you're gonna take your eyeliner, your liquid liner, and you're just gonna go right over it instead of trying to freehand it. And then once you do this a couple of times, you're not gonna need to you're not gonna need to have like a place to trace over it. So let me get close. So then you'll just close your eyes. And this is my favorite liquid liner. It's from Makeup by Mario, and it dries matte and it dries really, really fast. So what I like to do, instead of going straight on, I like to use the side of the liner brush, and it's very pointed. Okay. I'm just going to close my eye and literally go over the line that I already created. And then that's it. You just almost like press it and just lightly drag it in. Can you
Then
see?
do you do the rest of your lid too, or just the cat eye?
No, I will go all the way across, but this is the most, this is the trickiest part to learn, and the thing that people get most frustrated with when doing it. So I would definitely go all the way across. So what I'm doing, I'm still using the flat edge of the brush and just going across and just lightly brushing it across my lash line. And I will go all the way across. And that is how I would do a little wingtip. Now you can take this and you can go underneath and push this into your lash line to give a more bold look. But I almost never go on the bottom part of my lashes with the liquid liner, just because it doesn't look as smooth and natural. That is my.
Is that the same for the inner eye, like the corner of the eye? Do you just avoid that too?
No, I go all the way in. I'll just show you, like, can you see how I went all the way in?
Okay.
Wherever there's like hair growing, that's, if you just want it to look full and natural and bold, you're going to have to cover lash line to lash line.
Thank you.
Yeah. And keep most of the liner, like the bulk of the liner, in the outer part of the eye. It just helps with the shape.
Wow.
I love that. It's like elevating your look, Nicole, right? If you're just someone who wears like eyeshadow and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna do a little sexy cat eye.
Yeah. It
Right?
just like, yeah.
Alix,
And
what are we
it
wearing?
does. Well, I think you should start with a little bit of the tight line. Just go underneath the lashes, because your lashes look full and it does look like you have eyeliner on. But it would just make your eyes pop just a little bit more if you had a tight line on underneath. And then also, I'm just going to go over eyebrows really quick, because I always get a lot of questions about eyebrows. This is a brush, excuse me, that I would also use with eyebrows. And to figure out, just so you have, you want your whole eye frame to be balanced. So when you do your eyebrows, what you're going to want to do, just to figure out the whole frame of the eye, because you also think like you want to keep your eyeshadow within a certain area, and you want your eye to be finished, and the eyebrow really finishes off the whole eye. So what you'll do is you'll have the brush, the angle pointing towards your face. If you just put it on the outer ridge of your nose and just go all the way up, wherever it hits your skin, like imagine there's an imaginary line on your outer nose, nostril, go all the way up and just push there. And that's where you're going to start with your eyebrow. Because I know a lot of us over tweezed in the 90s, right? So yes. And then for the outer, where you want your eyebrow to stop, you're going to take the brush right at your nostril again. You're going to just lay your brush right at your nostril. You're going to hit the outer corner of your eye and you're going to go out, and wherever the end of the hair is, that's where you'll want your eyebrow to end.
Wow.
So that will help you frame your entire eye. And then what I like to do is start, when I'm filling my brows in, is start on the bottom and just kind of fill that in. That way you get that nice, like that nice line. And then also, then you can go to the top. And then I've been using CoverGirl clear mascara, like probably 25 years, because my eyebrows are really bushy. So I just like to use a clear gel just to keep them in place.
Do you suggest tweezing, waxing, or what's that other way of doing your eyebrows? Do those all matter?
Threading?
Threading. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's just a pain, like a personal preference with pain. I mean,
okay.
yeah.
Pain.
Your pain level. I'm sure waxing is, I mean, tweezing's pretty painful. I think
And if you're using retinol,
yeah.
you don't want to put the waxing because it'll tear off your eyelid.
Yes. But you know, I think when somebody else does your eyebrows, I think they do a combination of like waxing and tweezing and shaving just to shape the eyebrow. I had my eyebrows done once and I will never have them done again, because she literally took the tail ends off and made them so thin, like it just changed my entire face. And I was like, what did you do? So
Nicole, did you say you use clear mascara, not like an eyebrow gel? So you just finish it with a clear mascara?
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but it's just CoverGirl and it's like $5. And honestly, when I worked at department stores, they have a purpose. Like if you have like a jet black eyebrow and you need, I don't know, something fast. I personally like to use powder. I think it looks very natural, and then you can set it with a clear mascara. Now it's not a mascara that I don't feel like it's strong. Like if you were to put it on your lashes, you're not going to get like a great fan out, but it does hold your eyebrows in place, or any like little flyaways along your hairline. But yeah, I'm trying to think, like if somebody has like a fuller eyebrow, and let's say you're getting grays in your eyebrow, if you want to use the color of your hair, you just put it in there. And it would keep it in place and cover the grays if that's what you were looking to do.
Wouldn't you tweeze those out?
Or if you had blonde, well, eventually you can't tweeze all your eyebrow hairs out. But if you were like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like a redhead, and you had really blonde eyebrows and you like the shape and all you wanted was to change the color, you could use a colored eyebrow gel. But mine are jet black, so I just use clear.
Wow, Nicole, you have lots of tips and tricks. Now, how long does your makeup routine take in the morning?
I mean, I don't really move. It's pretty fast. It's like less than 5 minutes, but yeah. So I like mascara, tinted moisturizer, blush, and gloss. Like that's really it. Like when I come on here or, meeting up, that's a different story, but I could do it. I can do it pretty fast. I think there's some things that really make you look fresh and awake. And I don't think you need a lot of makeup. Like, just a little bit of blush in the cheeks, a little gloss just to make your lips look shiny. I think definitely mascara for sure. I think the eyes, probably having your eyes done more than anything else is going to help you look the most awake.
I tell my mom and mother-in-law, don't leave the house without lipstick. Like that's, maybe I should tell them to do their eyes too.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
And using the powder looks more natural than the liquid, right? For the eyeliner.
Oh, yes, yes. The powder, the great thing about powder is that you can make it look so natural where it just looks like you have fuller eyelashes. And then you can also build on it and get a very thick line. You could even use it for a smoky eyeliner. You could essentially use it as a liquid liner, like I said, if you just wet the brush. So the brush is pretty versatile, and this is sold at Ulta for maybe $5. I know MAC has one, but I don't know. There's just something about the Morph brush that I love so much. Yeah, so I love it.
That's awesome. We'll link that too, Nicole. We linked it in the first email, but all the products that Nicole had, we'll definitely link it. Okay.
All right.
Last but not least, we've got Sleigh. We are going to slay our houses with Winter Wonderland with Robin and Melissa.
Yes, thank you so much. Can you guys hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Echoey.
I'm muted. Well, first of all, thank you, Alix and Nicole, for having us. We're so pleased to be here tonight with all of you. We are, like we said, my name is Robin.
And I'm Melissa.
We are Two Blooms Events located in the Sarasota, Florida area. And we're so pleased to be able to bring you a grocery store bouquet tonight. So literally that's what we picked up is, because the holidays shouldn't be difficult. We have all these things going on. We're busy. We're probably all making magic in our homes, let's be honest. And the last thing you want to think about is your centerpiece at the end of the day. Oh, and Alix got one too. It's pretty. So we just picked up this one from Publix down here in Florida. I know a lot of our grocery stores nowadays have the pre-made or pre-put together bouquets, so you don't have to think about it. But what you want to think about when you're buying one is the size of your vase. Now, you could easily just take this bouquet and pop it into a tall vase and you'd be fine. But we want to modernize a little bit. So what we've done is chose a vase that is about half the size of the bouquet top. So if you're looking at the whole bouquet on top, you see that amount of flowers. You want your vase size, the opening, to be about half the size of the flowers that you're buying. Because if it's larger, then you're going to have too much space in between your flowers, okay? So what we've done here, and this is about the size that we're using, is probably about 5 inches or so in diameter here. And what we've done before we put water in our vase is we've actually used some tape to create a grid. So I don't know if you can see this on camera. Just make yourself, but we just made this grid using some tape. Now the tape that we have on our vase, and this is just for show because I don't want to dump water out, showing you on camera, but the tape that we're using is actually 1/4 inch Oasis clear waterproof tape. Now, you guys at home, you don't have to go that bananas. You can easily just use Scotch tape. I would say maybe use the thinner one than the thicker width, and just make a tic-tac-toe sign over the top of your vase. It's going to create a grid that gives you a lot more control as to where you're putting the stems. It's a game changer for sure.
Absolutely. And, to kind of keep with our theme of elevating everything, that's really what we're doing with our store-bought flowers and using a little bit of a lower vase, especially the holiday times. I think it's a really great time to be able to do that because it fits over, your dinner table if you're going to be having it there, or if it's your buffet, it's lower and it's just a little bit different. All the time, you typically see at people's homes the straight up and down from the vase you got from your bridal shower. So this is just another way to kind of elevate it and make it a little bit different. So that's the first step, like Robin said, with our tape. And then room temperature water. We always like to talk about things that keep our flowers around a long time, because whether it's a store-bought bouquet or you've kind of picked things here and there or gone to a wholesaler, you want these blooms to last a long time because, well, the holidays, it's great to last a long time, but you paid a lot of money for them and you're arranging them. So we're going to try and give you some tips to keep these blooms around a long time as well, along with a little bit of arrangement tips, right?
Yeah, so when you buy a bouquet like this that has kind of a whole different array of flowers in it, the first thing that Melissa and I like to do is sort of take inventory as to what we have. So you can kind of pull it apart. If you have room, you can lay it down in front of you and kind of make piles of similar flowers, right? So if you have some greenery, put that in one section. If you have, hydrangea, put that in another, your roses in another. So just kind of organize your flowers in terms of what you've got. Sometimes it's kind of neat to open up your bouquet. Sometimes you really can't see what's in there. So to kind of open it up and take it apart and see what you have, this will give you an idea of where to start. And what we always say is that if you have greenery in your bouquet, you can use that first to green up your base or green up your vase. It provides some structure for the rest of your bloom. So if you do have some greens, Alix, I don't know if you have greenery in yours. Sometimes they have them and sometimes they don't. She does. Okay.
Yeah, awesome. If you don't, we actually have some really beautiful cedar in ours. If you don't, pick up another greenery bouquet. A lot of times they have them separately, or especially this time of year, if you've got a real tree or if you're cruising by the tree farm, they will give you little clippings as well. And if you're making a couple of bouquets or want to give away, you can go there and they'll give you the clippings, and they actually make a really nice base or greening of your vase. But we've got this beautiful cedar today, and you can see they're really long. So we're gonna have to make these smaller because we're going with our shorter vase today. And we actually love doing that. We kind of call it minimizing or maximizing our product rather. And so we're gonna make a couple of cuts on this and use it a couple of times. Depending on your vase size, ours is a little bit lower. This one here is even lower. So we might be able to get 2 cuts out of our cedar here, which is what I'm gonna try to do. So if you're working with a green that's kind of like a lateral like this, that has different offshoots like our cedar here, you can kind of pick a place where there's a little bit of a break in it and just give it a little snip. And then you really kind of got 2 sets of greenery there. And I know this one you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that looks weird and I would never use it. But what we're looking for, like Robin said, is a little bit of support for our blooms once we start putting them in. So this one, even though it looks a little bit weird, once we get all those blooms in there, you're not even going to be able to tell it might have been the bottom of your greenery. I'm going to take our top portion. And the other thing that we always like to talk about is having no leaves below the water line. We'll talk about that again, but I just kind of cleaned all of these off, and it made it a nice clean stem going into our water, because what happens is these leaves can break down no matter what it is. And when you got that slime going on in your vase, that slime is bacteria, and we want to minimize that because it travels up the blooms, whether it's green or your beautiful bloom. And that reduces the life that they have. So that's probably one of our biggest takeaways, right?
For sure.
For keeping an arrangement around as long as possible, especially if you're working with a clear vase. You don't want icky water. So that's one of our
Do you
biggest.
add anything? Do you use the little packets that come with it, or dish soap, or don't add anything?
Yeah, so when you put your water in your vase, obviously most of your bouquets are going to come with this little packet of flower food. We always say use it. All you need to do, don't even think about it. Just dump it right in your vase and put your water in, whether it's, tepid, your room temperature water, or if you want to do a little warmer water to force your blooms open faster, you can do that too. It's going to dissolve. So just get that powder in there. It's going to help your flowers live longer. And it's also going to help stave off any bacteria growth in the water. So always use it. You're not going to hurt your flowers.
Yeah, great question. If you don't have it, use a little touch of bleach, because again, that's getting rid of that bacteria, and that's really what we want to try and eliminate.
And Alix has her vodka handy, so if you don't have that, if you don't have your packet or bleach, you can put a little dash of vodka in your vase too, believe it or not.
Fun tip.
I know, a little try in your vase, a little for you. So Melissa's got all of our greenery in here, and then next what you're going to do, take a look at the rest of your blooms and start with your largest bloom first and work your way down to the smallest. So
Look,
we've got, surprise, a beautiful green hydrangea here, one of our favorites. And I think when I'm looking at bouquets, I'm kind of looking also to see if there is a variety of sizes and textures in the bouquet to use. So we've got this beautiful green hydrangea. Now, we love using hydrangea, but of course we want to remove some of those leaves if they're going to hit the water line. What we want to do if we do have a hydrangea, Alix, do you have one too? No way.
Those are our favorite.
They are, and they offer a lot of support. She's got a two bonus. You got a good one. I only got one. That's okay. We're gonna start with this because again, we've got our largest bloom going into the vase right after our greenery. Now we're always gonna cut on an angle, so any bloom that you're using, cut on that angle. It's going to increase the surface area of that stem and enable a lot more water to get up to your bloom. But with our hydrangea or any other bloom that has a thick woody stem, what you're also going to do is cut up the stem vertically, and we're just gonna kind of split that. And that will also increase the surface area as well. So if you can kind of see that, then some florists will kind of hammer it. Basically, again, you just want to open up those capillaries so that all that water can get up to your bloom. I'm going to pop this guy right in. And if you do have a grid, you'll see that it does help your flowers, gives you a little bit more control over where you're placing the stems, and it helps them stand up a little bit. Now, also with our hydrangea, we want to make sure we're spritzing the petals of the flower. It actually drinks from the petals. We're the only flower that does that. So if you have a spritzer, or if you can just kind of wet your fingers and flick it a little bit, this is what's going to keep your hydrangea lasting the longest. So we've got this beautiful big guy right in here, and we're going to go into just continuing on with our largest blooms all the way down to our smallest to fill up our bouquet.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard to tell which your largest one is, but we've got one hydrangea, and we've also got one set of lilies here, which lilies are always so fun to work with in any arrangement, I think, because they're what we would call a lateral bloom, meaning, see, they've got all these little offshoots off of it. And I love them because they can really build a lot of fullness to an arrangement, in my opinion. So this is a really great option, I think, to go with next. Even though we have a lot of other blooms that are a little bit larger, I think we'll go with these. So you guys know the drill now that we're going to clean up all of these stems. You know, if you've got leaves, whether it's a lily or we'll get to a rose later on that you love that's at the very top, keep it. And then we always say edit your arrangement as the days go on. So as soon as it doesn't look right, just kind of take that right off. As long as it's not below the water line, it's not going to be breaking down in the water and creating that nasty bacteria. I'm going to leave a couple at the top, right?
Yeah, I mean, it fills in, it just looks pretty there. And then of course with the lily too, as they open, just keep in mind, they do have the stamen in there that get the pollen. So if you ever have that in one right here, you want to certainly remove that pollen, those pollen pods, I like to call them, with your fingers, with a tissue. Because they will kind of powder up and stain. So just be mindful, if ever you have a lily, definitely pull off those pollen pods. You don't want those falling on your countertop. As they begin to open, keep your eye on that.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch these because actually in the next day or so, almost all of them are going to begin to open, and they can damage your clothes or tablecloth. But we're going to give this, again, a nice fresh cut on the angle. And if you're nervous about the length of your stem, go ahead, make it a little bit longer, put it in there, and then see how it's working for you. And then you can always make a little bit shorter. We've got a beautiful, nice cut on there. And let's see.
Oh, and it adds some height too, which I love.
Yeah.
So now we're getting a little more dimension than what we just brought home from the grocery store, right? Typically, when you have it in that cellophane, it's kind of all one height, but you can, at this point, now that we've separated it, really start to play with, you know, how you want these blooms arranged. You may even have a front and back to your arrangement too. So again, your grid will just give you more control. If you have the back side wanting to be a little higher, say you're putting the arrangement on your countertop or on your buffet, you can kind of think in those terms. And we're just going to keep on going again, largest to smallest, and keep on removing those leaves. And I think we'll open it up for some questions if you guys have any as we continue to arrange. And then we'll show you some tips on how to elevate this arrangement and really take it to the next level. Alix,
Can I just repeat two big tips? Can I repeat two big tips?
Yeah.
Number one, don't put leaves in your water.
Yes.
Right? That is like, I've taken a lot of classes with you guys. I am not a flower arranger, but that is a tip. Do not put leaves in your water. The second thing is those really big stemmed flowers, like you were saying, the hydrangea, how you cut up them. I think how they can get lots of water because they do hydrate a lot, or they need a lot of water. I think that is key. So I think those are the two big tips too. Just want to say.
For sure.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Those really are the big tips. And honestly, with flower arranging, if you know those kind of basics, you can really be creative, and then you're gonna have an arrangement that's really going to be lasting. You can see we've got ours on a Lazy Susan too, I just wanna point out. So if you think that's something that's gonna be helpful for you and you're that, perfectly fear-minded person that you really want it to be perfect all the way around, this is a good tip to be able to have this available. We use ours quite often. It makes it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. So we have dianthus in here. We've got some roses in our bouquet, which is going to be probably really common for you. Couple quick tips on roses. When you get them home, give them a fresh cut on an angle and get them right into water. They don't like being out of water very long. Their stems scab over really quickly. So if ever you've had really pretty expensive roses and they kind of give you that gooseneck after a little while, it's probably because they didn't have a fresh cut and got into water right away. Make sure you do that. And then before you put it in your bouquet, you can edit your rose. So these are guard petals. You can just pop one or two off the outside. It's going to encourage your rose to open a little bit more. Then you can blow into your rose a little bit. Ooh, there was some hydration in there. And that will just help your rose to open. So we're just going to give these a nice fresh cut, get them directly into the water here. And like I said, we're just going to keep on continuing to go around and keep on arranging.
And in this case too, depending on what you're working with, if you've got two roses and you really like the look of them being clustered, and this goes for any of the blooms, you could put 2 or 3 together as a little bit of textural or color block effect. That's something that might be really neat and different. So be creative. You're not sticking these in concrete once you cut them. So if you put it in a location that you're like, that's really not working for me, you might need to just take it out, give it another clean cut, and place it somewhere else.
Now your hydrangea can also act as a base for flowers. So if you have some tinier bloom, you can always separate your hydrangea too and place them in there. So that's kind of a fun thing. These blooms are so large and they're kind of webbed at the top here with their petals. You can absolutely use that to insert some flowers in there.
Yeah, we actually have all kinds of cute little lateral mums going on here in our greens and whites. You might think no matter what time of year, mums, we actually encourage people to look at mums all 12 months out of the year because they really are a great bloom, whether they're a lateral like this or they're a single stem this bud mum. They last a long time. They come in so many different textures and so many different colors. So it's really, really nice, I think, to have mums in an arrangement. Do we have a question? The big takeaway with mums is they are some of the worst leaves below the water line. They're a really flimsy leaf. So, the more flimsy of a leaf that you have, it's going to break down faster. So just be mindful of that and getting your nice clean stem. If you've got some laterals coming off on your mums, whether they're lateral mums or you've got spray roses or anything that's a lateral and you have a long one like this and you want to cut it off because you think, oh, it's going to be too short in there, you can absolutely do that. If it's long enough to still reach the water line, you can use it. If not, get yourself a little bud base or behind the ear and the messy bun, whatever. But this one might fit right at our water line here. It might be cute, just kind of peeking out there. And then I'm left with this beautiful, we got 4 of them here.
A nice little cluster.
I love the bud vase idea because I put that in like guest rooms or like in the bathroom if something's breaking. So don't waste the flowers, right? Like if you don't have a cute little bud vase, like go get one. It's like $5. So cute.
Yeah, they're so cute. And Alix, you said it. I love a little bud vase in a powder room. I think when you walk in there as a guest, it's like it just instantly makes you feel special because your host thought of that, right?
Okay, we have another lateral in here. And, we've got some other laterals going on. We actually got some carnations in here, which we love carnations. And I'm going to add Robin and the biggest fans of carnations.
It's just how you use them, right? You don't want a bouquet of red carnations with white baby's breath. I mean, come on, that's a little dated look.
Well, the nights are very back.
Well, they are. But you know what I mean, right? as a pop of color. Actually, last year on my buffet table, I had an entire arrangement of only red carnations with some pine cones, and it's really, really pretty. They're a beautiful bloom. But we're gonna, like I said, just keep on going here. But if you wanna then elevate your arrangement, right, outside of what you got from the grocery store, go ahead, you can grab some pine cones like these guys that we have here, that are white tipped that are really pretty. You can pop them in. And also, just so you know, you don't have to get the stemmed ones, like the fancy ones from, you know, your craft store or whatever. If you have a pine cone in the yard and you can just wedge it into your hydrangea, that is fine. Like, no one's gonna be taking apart your arrangement. If it falls out, no big deal, wedge it in there again. But you can just
Fake it till you make it.
What's that?
Fake it till you make it, right?
Yes. So whether it's a pine cone, you can place, you know, a little ornament in your holiday arrangement. The holidays are the time where you can get a little over the top and have fun with things. So if that floats your boat, certainly go for it, right? It just adds a little pop of color here and a little bit of fun. We had one guest join us actually at one of our in-person workshops, and she brought an ornament with her that was special. It was a little red cardinal. We were doing a holiday arrangement, and she brought it specifically to place into her arrangement. So if it's something special like that and you place it into your arrangement as a little like coffee table talk or whatever, conversation piece is what I'm trying to say, certainly go for that, right? It doesn't have to reach the water, but now's the time to play. So
yeah, something textural and unexpected is always fun, whether it's during the holiday season or, you know, something we love doing as it gets into the spring and summer. You could cut a lemon or a lime, put it on a little skewer, and you've got a beautiful spring or summer arrangement that is just so cute. You know, during fall, you can put a little gourd on a skewer, and it really is, to our tune, to today's theme, is it really does elevate the arrangement. It's something unexpected, and those two just look so perfect.
yeah, absolutely, so fun.
Yeah, we've got some more blooms still in here, so we'll continue to fill in. I do want to say though, if you've got any with a little bit of height, Robin's got a beautiful stock there. We always love something that brings a little bit more height up, just because it's really visual and it's kind of very striking that way. Stock is a really great way to do that. Don't let the name fool you. It is actually a really beautiful flower. Sad name. But that's a great way to do it. I actually already have one in, so you could kind of accent them and offset them a little bit. So there's lots of different things that you can do to create a little bit of height. And if you don't love a little bit of height, keeping that texture in there, and you can always kind of nestle in a lateral taller bloom if you like. If you've got some space you need to take up, you can do that as well. We've got a couple other things in here that we'll just finish up, but I mean, you can see how quickly that this just store-bought arrangement really comes together and looks really elevated, whereas just bringing it home from the grocery store, taking out the packaging and sticking it in a tall vase, it's a completely different look. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not at all.
This is really fun too.
Where do you buy the things on the sticks? At a garden store, or what is the general, where do you buy like the pine cones on a stick?
Yeah, so we get them from our wholesaler in bulk. Like we'll buy 100.
Okay.
Obviously, you guys don't need that many. Definitely the craft store, you can find some. Amazon is always a great spot to check out online as well. But you know, you can always just search for those and you can find them for sure. But we can link them with the rest of your items as well, so that you can buy yourself a few and pop them into your arrangement. You can also wire, like if you did need it on a stick, you could wire it up and make it, you know, have a stem that way, or even just hot glue a little dowel on the base too.
Yeah, use what you have at home. You could even place a little bit of ribbon and put it on a low gauge wire and stick it in there. Just have a little bit of a ribbon or a bow trellising out, especially for the holiday again or winter time. That's really pretty. Look around the house and see what you have.
I feel like Trader Joe's always has good stuff like that too.
Yes,
Yeah,
Trader Joe's is a great spot for flowers and accessories. They generally do kind of have some of that stuff as well. Our Publix is great, so check out your grocery store. We always say, you know what, they're all getting them from the same wholesaler probably. Like you could buy them at the corner market, you know, like 7-Eleven or whatever's near you. Just check that they're fresh, that's all, you know? Or your grocer, just ask them, hey, when does your flower truck come in? Or when do you get your flower delivery? And sometimes they'll even let you order, like they'll just let you order, like tack on to what they're getting. So if you do have a specific, you know, dinner party that you're hosting or event that you want to have, and you do have a specific floral in mind, you know, ask them. A lot of times, you know, they're really, really great about doing that.
Costco is another really great
Costco.
one too.
And Costco you can order online.
You can put it in those flower orders or any of those stores. If you are looking for something specific, I definitely encourage it. Honestly, if you know these kind of basic tips that we've gone over today, you can really make a professional, elevated, beautiful arrangement. And a lot of times you want something that's really personal, whether you're giving it as a gift or it's at your own event at your own home. So, you know, I always would rather put my own together and make it a little bit more.
Now, if you're not that person though, and this is way too much for me, or I ran out of time, because that's me sometimes, and I know what I'm doing, just go and grab some fresh greenery, like the clippings Melissa mentioned. You don't need to have any of the flowers. You can just put like a candle in a hurricane vase with some greens in there and you're good to go. So the holidays, you can get away with all that kind of stuff. It's not like Mother's Day or Valentine's Day where, you know, people are kind of expecting to see flowers. Around the holidays, greenery will do the trick every time. So
yeah, the Christmas tree farm really is a good tip because they do not care. They're just throwing out all those clippings, and you've got beautiful, fragrant evergreen. Whether you're going to use it in an arrangement or if you're just laying it on a table. I mean, I know we both do that all the time for events and for our own home. It really makes a big impact.
That looks so good. I have to say that also I feel like I'm not a flower arranger, but doing that is very relaxing, right? It's also super rewarding. You know, I have one of my friends who's actually on here that is so good at flower arranging. She's so good. And it's her form of like de-stressing. So if you are someone that also maybe you want a little time away from your family or whoever's coming, like grab a bouquet and say, you know what, I have to arrange the flowers type of thing. And so it's sort of fun.
It really is, absolutely. It gets you off the technology, like it really just shifts your mindset. Not only that, it's tactile. So like, you know, it's not like you're out in the garden, like digging in the dirt, although that feels good sometimes too, but it really enables you to use your hands, feel nature, and just be creative. Don't stress about it, right? It's just put them in a vase, they're flowers, they're gonna look great.
So I have I have a question about the water. Does it need to be like really cold or no? I've seen people adding some ice in the water. So does that mean anything or no?
We actually suggest room temperature water for like your everyday arrangement. You don't want to shock your blooms with it being too hot or being too cold. We also suggest to change out your water every couple of days because we've probably done a really great job of keeping those leaves out of there, but we want to flush the rest of the bacteria out of there also. So, you know, we always say just give your arrangement a little bit of a hug. You can dump it over the sink and then just set it down in there. Bring your hose nozzle in, refill it up, or if you have like a small nose watering can or something like that, getting it right in there at the side. You know, watch for it every couple of days, but really room temperature is really all you need to get that longevity.
Okay, great.
Good question.
Yeah.
Really beautiful, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
My neighbor likes to bring it. Yes.
I like the lazy Susan.
It's a great idea. I love getting them as a hostess gift when I host. My friend across the street always comes over with a beautiful bouquet that I can tell that she has put it together, and she'll always like add a little ribbon, but it feels really special to get something homemade. I know you were talking about hostess gifts in the beginning, Alix, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea too. Yeah. Or some eyeliner. Self-care, a whole self-care package. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Does anyone have any other questions? No? About eyeliner, hostess, flowers, midlife, anything. Yeah. Well, We really appreciate you guys being here, being part of this community, sharing your time. We know that your time is really valuable. So we loved seeing all of your faces, especially during this busy holiday season, and hope that you learned something and had just a little bit of, joy for yourself this holiday season. So thank you for
Awesome.
coming.
Thank
And
you.
thank you,
Awesome.
Two Blooms. We love you guys.
Oh, we love you guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. This is so much fun.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye, ladies.
Bye,
Okay,
everyone.
bye.